Hello and welcome to Workshop 10, Setting Up MySQL. In this workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to set up MySQL server, but we're going to do quite a bit more. We're also going to look at the MySQL clients running on other machines, specifically running on our Apache servers, because we want our web servers to be able to integrate with the database server. We've already done that with NFS, and we can see how we can share resources. We're actually going to share the metadata between all the web servers through the MySQL database. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to configure PHPMyAdmin as our management infrastructure for managing all of the database components, whatever they may be. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to use that specifically for setting up the users and databases for the websites. Now, we've got some accounts to create outside of PHPMyAdmin to install it, and we need to do that as well. So we've got quite a bit to do in this workshop. So let's start off. What we need to do is we need to update A records. So we're going to add in the URLs and then build the servers. Okay, let's have a look at what we're actually going to build. Within our architecture, we've been using our DNS1 server. We took away the secondary servers and the subdomain. That's just to reduce the resources. Doesn't reduce any of the functionality at the moment. Specifically, we're not using subdomains in this section of the module. We've got our 3 web servers, we've got our NFS set up, and now we're going to bring in the MySQL server. So this is where it fits into the architecture. So all of this needs to be, well, just this part needs to be built, but then the integration into here. Now we're going to be setting this up, and we're going to be using a URL to access it. So we've got a little bit of work to do the DNS. And that's the actual first job we've got listed here. So part 1, we're going to actually add an A record to our DNS, restart the DNS, flush the cache on the client machine just to make sure everything's right and get that going. The other thing we're going to do is create a virtual server with a static address. I've actually already done that, but I haven't done the installation of the server or anything else, but it's ready for us to start using it. Just saves me setting it up now. So we'll install the server. We're then going to secure the server. So this is where we actually run that security command to actually tighten up. We're going to set it to use basic passwords, and we're going to use this password here for our installations. Sometimes I've found that even when you say use insecure passwords, it still has a little bit of a problem. So rather than worry about that, we're just going to set up this password here for our accounts on MySQL. The next thing is install the PHPMyAdmin. It's a very big installation because it installs all the prerequisites. And then what we're going to do is connect to that server using the URL, just to make sure we can then log in. We'll log in with the command and we should be able to use it. And then we're going to create a user and database with www. So there's quite a bit to do just in those first 2 sections. Very much so on getting the server installed in PHPMyAdmin. Okay then, let's have a look at the first thing we need to do. So here's my client machine, and what first thing we'll do is we will connect to our DNS server. So student at 10.168.100.150 Northumbria. Okay, so we're going to start changing the settings in here. So if we have a quick look at the architecture I've designed, what we're looking at is making a change here so the machines and my client machine here can actually use this URL. So our web servers are going to use the URL to connect to our MySQL server. So we need the record in here. And I'm not worried about this DNS dependency because we have it here already for the NFS for authentication. So I don't mind adding it in again, just to a little bit more for these to connect to the MySQL service. So we'll add that record and then we'll concentrate on setting up this MySQL server, which is going to run on 10.168.158. So first things first, let's get connected to the DNS, which we have. And we need to go sudo nano /etc/bind/db.student.co.uk. Now in here, what we're going to do is we add in an A record for the MySQL server. IN A record, and it's 10.168.100.158. before we go anywhere, we make a change to the serial number. So this will be the second change. So we change that and we exit out. So we can now go sudo systemctl and restart bind9. What I should really do is I've restarted it. What I should have really done there was done a quick check on the zone file. So I'll do that now. So named check zone, and we're going to check student.co.uk, and the file I'm checking is etc bind db.student.co.uk. Yeah, that's okay. Just do a quick tail. Last 50 lines. See, last 150 lines of /var/log/syslog, and we'll play that through more. We've got some bits and pieces running, and all zones running. Okay, I'm happy with that. There doesn't seem to be any errors or anything in there. Okay then, so clear that. That's the DNS set, so we can exit out of there. That should be all we need to do there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to quickly go through here, and I want to flush the cache on my machine just in case there's anything in there that I don't want, and I'll just do a quick check for my machine. ns lookup mysql.student.co.uk, and there we go, we're getting the address. So now we can connect to our server, and what I will do is I will use the URL I've just created. So mysql.student.co.uk, and we log in. There we go, I'm on the server. So on the server we are going to install the server software, and we're going to secure it, and we're going to use a simple password. Let's remember that. There's sometimes problems when we install the security package, so rather than risk it, I'm going to say simple, but then I'm going to use this password here, which is Northumbria with a capital N, exclamation mark and a 1, just to be sure when we're building everything we don't end up having to redo it because the error trips in. But let's go from there. Okay, so next thing on that server, sudo apt install MySQL server. There we go. Right, we're ready to install. Now there's quite a big install, so we might do a little skip in the video here part way through. Okay then, that took a little while, and we're back. So just a quick refresh, we're going to install it, and now it's installed, we're going to do the securing of the installation. So next job we do is we go sudo, and we secure the installation with MySQL secure installation. Okay, so yes, we want to set the passwords. We'll say 0 for low, and the new password, capital N, Northumbria, exclamation mark 1. Re-enter the password, Northumbria, exclamation mark 1. Okay, says I've got a strong password. Do we wish to continue? Yes. Now this is where we can actually start reducing the potential attack, the attack real estate on the server. So we'll take away the anonymous accounts and root login remotely, etc., and take out the test database, and we'll reload all the privileges, and we're done. Okay, so our server is now installed. Okay, so we've got it installed, we've got it secured, and now we need to install PHPMyAdmin. However, what we're going to do first of all is we will actually do a connection to the database and see how that works, and we will then install PHPMyAdmin. And the reason for that is we need to do some prerequisite creations. Okay, first prerequisite we've got to do while we're here is sudo nano / now this is the binding. So I'm going to open this server up for remote connections. So I've secured it down, but I can open it up for those web servers to connect it. So MySQL, etc MySQL config directory, and it's the MySQL and it's the D. So this is the server config file. So we open that up and we run through and we find our binding. There's the binding. Server binding is currently set to localhost, which is default, so only the local machine. And I now set that to any network card on IP4. So we save that, exit out, and then we need to restart bind for that to take effect. So sudo systemctl restart, and that'll be MySQL. Okay, so that's the server restarted. So what next? We've taken the bind out. The accounts, that's right. So we need to create 2 accounts. The 2 accounts we need to create are now let's get this right. We need to create before I create those accounts, MySQL -user root. Access deny, of course, sudo must run it as the super user command. There we go. So I'm in, and I can show databases, etc. So that's fine. We're okay with that. We're in. Actually, I'll stay logged in, because the next thing I need to do while I'm logged in, I now need to start creating the accounts that are required for PHPMyAdmin. So the first account I need to create is sudo. Why am I typing sudo? I'm in MySQL now. So I need to create a user, and the user I need to create is the PHPMyAdmin account at localhost. So I'm creating the local PHPMyAdmin account, identified by, and this is where I'll use that password, so everything in MySQL is the same. Northumbria !1. So okay, so I create that account. The next thing I have to do is grant privileges to that account so it can actually manipulate the server and do things. So I'm going to add in privileges. Now they're going to have full privileges on everything, so they can do anything they need in here. And I'm going to add those privileges to that account, PHPMyAdmin at localhost. And I'm also going to give a with grant option. So from here I'd be able to basically create new users, do anything I wanted really. So with grant option. And the next thing I need to do is flush the privileges for that account. So flush privileges. Okay, so that's the first one. Now that's for the PHP application. I now need to create an administrator's account for myself. So if I now come back, I can now say, okay, I need another account, and that's admin. So this is how we administer the system. You're not allowed to create a user with grant. Oops. Oh, of course, I need to type the command in. So create user. So create user, admin at localhost. Identified by Northumbria !1 with a grant option. What am I talking about? I'm creating the account. Tut. Come on. Right, create the account. Now grant all the privileges on it. There we go. Okay, and then flush the privileges. Okay, that's the 2 accounts created now. So we're up to the point where we can actually install PHPMyAdmin now. So if I drop out of the MySQL, I've secured it with the script, I've created the 2 prerequisite accounts, and now we can install PHPMyAdmin. So sudo apt install PHPMyAdmin. Now this is a big install because there's quite a lot of installations. Now we will have to select in here the fact that we're going to use Apache. So yes, we want to continue, and when we get the option we select Apache as being the web server that we want to use. So we do that, we press the spacebar, tab key to OK, and away it goes. Now this does take a while, so I will sort of like jump forward in the video now because we just have to sit and wait for these packages to install. Okay, that took quite a while to install, but that's fine because now what we get is we're now prompted to create the PHPMyAdmin database on the actual server. Now this is where PHP becomes a real management tool, because with this database it can do things like storing queries so we can recover them later. It turns into a proper management tool instead of just an interface to the MySQL client. So yes, we want to create the database and we need a password for it, and this is the one we created originally with that account. So this is Northumbria !and 1. And off it goes. So now it's actually going to create that, and as we can see, it's pre-populating databases, etc., and it's getting ready for us to be able to use PHPMyAdmin. Okay, everything's created, so what we can do now is we can actually go to the web browser. Now we can pre-create that URL as well, so we can go to the MySQL server with the MySQL, and we get the Apache default page. PHPMyAdmin is actually located in PHPMyAdmin, and there we get the connection. So from here I can actually now log in with the admin account. So admin and the Northumbria !1, and we can cancel that. We don't want to save the password. So now I'm logged in, and you can see here I'm logged in with the admin account, and we can see absolutely everything, including the PHPMyAdmin database. We can see the MySQL database, etc. So we can see everything. So what do I need to do now? Well, I now need to create a user account, and the user account I'm going to create is the www account. So I put in the www. Now this needs to connect from everywhere because it's external machines connecting. So we've got the @ password we're going to have is Northumbria !1 and Northumbria !1. Okay, so that's that. Now just down here in database for user account, I can say create a database with the same name and grant all the privileges. If we now go at the bottom, I can say go, and we can see you have added a new user, and we can see the database as well. Okay, so we've done that. Let's exit out and log in with that user. So we've got the admin account, but what happens if we go in with the www account? When we go in now, we can see here we're logged in with the www account, but the only thing I can see in the system is the schema, which is the description of the database, and the database itself, and there's nothing in that database. So that's the accounts created. So if I log back out, well, let's have a look and see where we're at. Okay, created the virtual server, installed it, secured it, installed PHPMyAdmin, had all of those prerequisites, created the user account. Okay, so we've got PHPMyAdmin running. So the next thing we need to do is we now need to get our installation on all the web servers. We've already got that. So on our client machines, what we're going to install is the client software, and what's this? We may need to install PHPMySQL package if it wasn't installed as part of our Apache 2 install. I can't remember if we installed it. I'm sure we mentioned it, but I can't remember if we installed it. So we'll install that now. Okay, so if we log out of the actual MySQL machine now, because that's all up and running, I'll just quickly clear the screen and we can start from there. Okay, SSH student at www.student.co.uk. So we can connect to the first web server. And from here, what we can do is on website one, we can go sudo apt install MySQL client, and I'm also going to install the PHPMySQL just in case I haven't installed it. So the MySQL client and the PHPMySQL. And we go yes. Okay, so that's installed. So what I should be able to do now is actually communicate or connect to that. Now there's a quick way to do that one. If I use the MySQL command, because that's part of the command line interface, I can actually try and connect to it. So if I go mind user www and the host is mysql.student.co.uk. What I should be able to do, access denied, using password no. Minus P, must use a password. Northumbria, exclamation mark 1. Okay, so if I use the www database, changed, and I can go show tables, and there's nothing. So, but I am connecting to it, so this machine can connect. So what I'll do now is I'll jump ahead and I'll set up the other two machines, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've been through there and installed that on all 3 of my web servers. You may only have 2. So what do I need to do next? Install client software. I've done it and I've tested with that. Right, create a MySQL script, mysql.test on each server, and add a piece of text or scripting which makes it identifiable. Okay, well, what I've done here is I've cheated a little bit. So SSH, I want to go to student at www.northumbria.ac.uk. Actually, I can do it. No, what am I talking about? .student.co.uk. Right. So student at student.co.uk. So Northumbria. And right, I'm on the server. So cd/bar/www/html. Okay, so in here, what I want to now do is create a file, and that file is MySQL test. So sudo nano MySQL test.php. And in here, I want to do a little test script. So the test script I want to put in here is, and so that script, there we go, script, let's quickly check it. Ooh, PHP, get the IP address, display that. MySQL, Northumbria 1, www. If there's any errors or success, close the link. Okay. Okay, so we've got that on the server, and what we can do now is we can actually load that. I think that's what I'm doing actually. Let's have a quick look. Create the MySQL test script on each server, add a piece of text or script that makes it identifiable. I've put a bit of text in. Test the connectivity on each web server. Okay, so we need to do that on each of the web servers. So that's on web server 1. So before I start moving that around, I'll save that and test it. So let's quickly go to web server 1. www.1. And it was called MySQL test.php. At least I think it is. Oh. Oops. MySQL test.php. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at the source code, see what I'm getting back. Absolutely nothing. So there's obviously some kind of issue. So let's go back to the server. ls-la, let's have a look. MySQL test, we can run that from here. So if I go PHPMySQL test, MySQL test, syntax error, line 11. Okay, let's fix that. Have I typed that in wrong? Yes, I have. Okay, line 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, look what I've done at the end there. an error. Not sure what that's doing there. Okay. Save that. Exit out. Okay. So if we now go back to the browser, go back to our MySQL test, refresh that page, and we're getting the server, so view page source. All I'm getting is that. Okay, let's go back to the script. A proper connection was made, so it's working. So why is it not coming through from there? It seems to be stopping at that point. So MySQL server, www, that's correct for the database. Error, unable to connect. So I don't seem to be getting past this point with the MySQL connect. Ah, just a thought. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what it'll be. If I drop out of here, maybe what I need to do is restart Apache because that library might not be in there. So we go sudo systemctl, restart Apache 2. I can use systemctl rather than the control Apache because there's nothing running. And if I now go back to here and I refresh, there we go. So I just hadn't restarted it. So what we've got is server success, a proper connection was made, so that works. So now what I'll do is put that onto all of the servers. Okay, so when I went to server 1, I got address 54. When I go to address server 2, I'll get address 55. Go to 3. Oops. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Come to address 1. ww1, I get that working correctly. I go to ww2. I get the IP address changes. And I go to 3. And there we go. And I've got all of them there now. So it's all connected to the database perfectly well. And last but not least, if I now go to there, it actually went to machine 56. So what I'm going to do now is exit out of there. I'm going to flush the cache, and I can find that. Oh, there we go. Flush the cache, so I've got address from there. Let's have a look at that again. So I've got 56. Now I should be able to find Chrome in here now as well. There's Chrome. So this is a different browser. Copy. So let's see what happens now. So I've got www here and I went to 56. So the load balancing's working. And let's see what happens when I go to a different URL. It's from a different browser. Okay. It's a little bit slow, but there we go. Paste that in there. So it's going to the load balanced server. So we go to there, hit return, and it's gone to 56. Where did it go with the other one? It went to 56 as well. So just per chance, that's where we ended up. Okay then. So it is load balancing, except I've gone to that one twice. Well, that's fine. We know it's working. Right, so what else do we need to do? Let's have a look. Just move that out the way. Test the load balancing, use 2 different browsers. I didn't get it to change address, but we know it does from the other one when we did it before. So that's everything done. So that's everything working. Okay then, so what have we done? We've added in our host name, we've created the virtual server. It's now set up as a MySQL server with PHPMyAdmin. And there's the PHPMyAdmin. So if we go in, we're going with www, why not? So we can go in with Northumbria exclamation mark 1. Oh, actually no, let's go in with admin. Northumbria exclamation mark 1. don't save. So we can go in here. We've got admin account that we're logged in with. From here we can start adding accounts, etc. There's the WW account, and there's allowing us to connect from the multiple servers. So that's all done. I can see every single database. I can create more if I want. What else have we got? So that's all done. We've tested our connections. We've created the user, and then on what we've done is on the servers, we've actually set up all of the client software. We've put in this extra package just in case. We've created the test script, which we put on the servers and tested. I added a little piece of code so it would pull back the IP address of the server. And then we've tested the connectivity from each of the servers and from www. So that's actually all working. Okay, then we've got our full implementation. And that's the workshop complete. I am going to do a little addendum video to this. And what I'm going to do is add a little script in the next little video, which is going to have pull out some data from the www. So I'll put a table in there, put a little bit of data in it, and then I'll create a page that I'll just pull some data out of that database and grab that picture that we've put in on the NFS, just so we can see the whole lot working together. As I say, I'll do that in a little addendum after this video. So that's it. We're all done. That's our fully implemented, load balanced web-based application. Thank you very much.